Did you know, according to Yahoo Finance, that over 90% of today's millionaires are invested into real estate? So that's why Dan Borrero and me come on here every Sunday to talk to you about our real estate portfolio, our acquisitions, our dispositions, our systems, our team, our lead management system, all these things to help you develop your own real estate investing business. We want you to be the best investor you can be, or start with your first rental or first flip right now. So today we're going to be taking calls. I'm going to flash this phone number on the screen in a few moments, just so we can make sure that we pour into you. We make sure that you know exactly what we're doing in the market right now. It's crazy how over the weekend our country can go into war. I mean, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Let's see what we got. So, as I was getting prepared for this presentation here, 90% of millionaires are invested in real estate. Isn't that cool? 90%. And how you can get started too. Dan Borrero, what's up, brother?
It's having some communication problems here, but it's working.
Uh-oh. Can y'all still hear me? If y'all hear me, you
I'm
sound real
losing you,
good to me.
Chris.
You sound super clean to me, brother. So, as I try to grow my business, y'all, I want to talk to you guys about joint venturing, strategic partnerships. I want to talk about getting a smaller piece of a bigger pie, because if 90% of millionaires are invested in real estate, here's the magical question: why aren't you? Why aren't you? What's up, Dan? Can you hear me? You still no good? No good. Oh shit.
Give me a second, Chris.
Okay, cool. Go ahead. I want to hear from you guys. Let me put the phone number up here. I want to hear why not you? And in a world where, let's talk to you guys about what's trending here. So you know I like to talk to y'all every Sunday. U.S. bombs Iran. It's got 10 million views in the last 24 hours, 10 million searches. But what's crazy, y'all, this is what I'm just trying to understand and comprehend. What's crazy is we go from war in the world to Kevin Durant with 1 million searches. What is going on with Kevin Durant? Maybe somebody can maybe bring me up to speed. Not saying that he isn't a great basketball player. I mean, I'm sure he's one of the best. But how do we go from World War to Kevin Durant? Damn. I mean, is that not cool or what? Kevin Durant, but he must be doing some unbelievable things in basketball. And let me just help everybody understand. You were not put here on planet Earth to play with balls. You just weren't. And I just want to make sure that, and I'm not saying that it's a bad idea to do that, but I don't want you to think that all you can do is get a jump shot or hit a baseball or throw a football. Dan, how we looking on audio? You okay?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh, perfect. Then we're doing good now. Sorry, man.
All right.
Technical difficulties.
It's all good. So as I was showing our thing, look, Dan, we got World War first search, second search, Kevin Durant. Help me with the 10 million on World War and a million on Kevin Durant within the last day. What does your brain go to on that?
And tell me, this may sound like a stupid question, but who's Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant is a basketball player,
Okay,
unfortunately.
well, to me, it's a stupid question. Guys, I don't care about what Kevin Durant is making or what his problems are. Kevin Durant is a wealthy millionaire. You know, Kevin Durant became wealthy because he chose to be the best. He obviously had a talent that he worked extremely hard at to become the best, to become one of the best, right? And you know, and I'm not trying to put his work down. What I'm saying is, I don't care what Kevin Durant's doing. Kevin Durant, that guy's done what he. It's like when I see poor people watching a football game and upset the next day, and they're like, my team lost, or happy that their team won, and I'm like, you keep saying your team. You don't have any ownership in that team. You think any of those players give a rat's ass if you could make your rent or your mortgage or your car payment, or you could send your kids to school, to the school that's best for them? No, right? So again, I'm not trying to
Hard.
put Kevin Durant down. I'm just saying that Kevin Durant, um, he's where he's at. People want to watch him what he does because he worked really hard to become the best at what he does, or one of the best, right? So,
He going
it
hard,
kind of
man.
astonishing to me considering that we're on the brink of war and people care about, oh, I don't even know what they're
Wow.
Googling him for. What are they Googling him for?
Looks like
It doesn't matter.
Yolanda Dale says he got traded.
Okay, so how does that affect your life?
Wow, dude. Maybe we
Does
got a
that
bunch
put
of
money in your
gamblers.
pocket?
Maybe we got gamblers on her, Dan. I doubt it, but are people gambling on this stuff?
Maybe. But again, how does that affect our lives? How does that affect the price of gas? How does that affect the price of oil? So they're estimating price of oil it's going to open up. Supposedly, futures are saying it's going to open up tomorrow morning at $90 a barrel, and they're
Wow.
saying, get ready for it to go up to 200. You know, if
Oh yeah, I heard you.
if oil goes up to $200 a barrel, how does that affect us? That's what Chris and I are talking about, right? Those are the conversations. Chris and I, we have like, yo, bro, what if the barrel of oil goes up to like $200? How is that going to affect us, right? You think Chris and I are having conversations about Kevin Durant? We don't give it. I mean, do you give a shit about Kevin Durant, Chris?
I love listening to Dan talk, yo. He's just so raw. Who else loves listening to yo? You're not sugarcoat. You know what's weird, Dan? We
Tell me,
need
brother.
to hear this. We need to hear this because I don't have any idea what he's doing. I love the fact that he's a young black man that's making tons of money and he's having an impact on the community and all this stuff. But he not doing nothing for me personally. And I love the
Right.
way you break it down. Like I don't even know what I mean. You have so many other things going on, but that's not to say that our round up family is actually searching. But I'm just letting y'all know the million people that search for him. Can you imagine getting searched 1 million times in 6 hours, Dan?
Yeah,
That goes to show.
again, to me, that shows me like probably 2/3 of those people are brain dead, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like to me, it's like watching a poor person watching a game on a Sunday
I can't
or
stand it, son.
Saturday.
I can't
It's
stand it.
like watching a bag of rocks watching the TV. Like, you broke. What you doing watching a game? Like, those
Wow.
people ain't broke because they weren't watching a game. They were practicing.
Working.
They were working. They were weightlifting. They were running. They were training. They were physically taking care of themselves. Like, that's the reason why you broke and they're not.
Dan, you hard tonight, man. You been drinking today?
Nah, man, it's just those conversations get me. It's like when people are like,
I'm
yo,
so good.
who you betting on the Super Bowl? I said, why do I give a shit who wins the Super Bowl? You putting money in my pocket?
Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, my name is Stan. I'm calling from Florida, Southwest Florida, Fort Myers area.
Stan from
Fort Myers. That's Lee County, correct?
Yep, Lee County. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Stan. You sounding real smooth tonight, brother. What you doing what you doing this evening?
I'm actually at work. I'm hiding in the closet just because I wanted to make this call real quick.
Oh wow! Look at you. So we know you
Loving
don't
it.
know nothing about Kevin Durant. I love you don't know nothing about Kevin Durant either.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't really watch basketball too much.
Good for you. Stan, what's on your mind? How can we serve you?
So I had a quick question. So I ended up seeing this vacant lot next to my mother's house. And I had ended up finding a person on People Search, and I just sent the letter to him. He seems like an older guy in his 70s, asking if he'd like to sell for cash. And he wrote a letter back saying that he would like to sell, but his ex-wife was, I guess, on the deed or something like that, and she ended up passing away. And she trying to get a hold of the beneficiaries to sign off on it. And he just said he kind of just stopped from there. So I just wrote him a letter back saying just to give me a call, but I just don't.
Nah, brother, listen up. Chris, tell him what we do. You a problem solver right now.
Or how does that even work?
I love it. I love this, man. I used to hate these, but now I'm like, man, bring it
Yeah,
on. The older I
I
get, I'm
love
like,
it.
shit,
I love those. Yeah, bring it.
biggest problem. But you know what? You know what's weird? The more wisdom you get, you look at problems as opportunities. For instance, I love it when people call me and say, Chris, the foreclosure's tomorrow. I'm like, that's such a small problem
Listen.
to me. I mean, I don't even, I'm not even, I know we can stop the foreclosure. So Dan, you start, what are you going to give him on this? And then I'll give him what I'm thinking.
So listen up, man. You got to become the problem solver,
Yep.
and the way you become that problem solver is you use that since you're already communicating with them. Say, hey, listen, I don't have a problem speaking to that whoever's in charge of her estate. Maybe I could facilitate something. Would you mind if you giving me that information? I could be the intermediary, the person in between both of you,
Yeah.
and we could communicate that. That's the way I would attack it. How would you attack it, Chris?
That's a start there, but we don't know Stan, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We don't know the relationship between him and the ex-wife, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm assuming he found out she died after he was trying to sell,
No doubt.
and then he got an attorney to try to see if his beneficiaries, if her beneficiaries would sign off on it, and he said he gave up from there.
All right, cool. So number one, Dan, that's a good idea. We don't know what the relationship was. Two, be prepared to write a check. In Virginia, it's called a partition suit. Did you know you can sell a piece of real estate even though the homeowners didn't even agree to sell it? I'm just finding this out with my man Jeremy last week. It's called a partition suit in Virginia. I don't know what they're called in other states. But you can do some paperwork, pay a few dollars, judge can make a ruling, bong. They go do some research and they say, look, you can sell it. Even though the other heirs didn't even agree to sell. Stan, did you know that?
Nah, I had no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
why
know what, Chris? So that's a state by state situation, though, isn't it?
yeah, it's called something different, but every state has something like that.
Hmm.
So quiet title, all type of
Hmm.
things that you could it's under the realm of a quiet title. But if you really want to push hard, go get your checkbook, tell the attorney, I want to move forward. If it's a lot of meat on the bone. Now, if it's a small deal, I don't know if I would do that.
Well, he wants to buy because it's next to his mother's house. It's a personal issue. Let me ask you this,
Right.
Stan.
Mm-hmm.
What state is it in?
It has a bunch of trees on it. It's a vacant
No, no, no,
lot.
no.
It's Florida.
What state? What state?
Oh, it's in Florida.
Which county, if you don't mind me asking?
Lee County, Florida.
Yeah, I would go buy the tax deed, man. They're probably because
You
the
think they're behind on
husband
taxes,
and the
Dan?
ex-wife. Yeah, I suspect they would be behind on taxes. That's a situation where most lots would be on. What you say? Lee County? Is it in Cape Coral, Fort Myers? Where is it? Lehigh Acres? Where?
Lehigh Acres. Yeah, Lehigh Acres.
Yeah, I'd bet my right arm they owe taxes on it.
So let's say they're up to date with their taxes and everything. And what would be the next step? Do I reach out to an attorney here to try to?
No, no, no. I would reach out to whoever's in charge of the estate and say, listen, whatever your issues are, I hear you, but maybe I could help you both, and I could be the person in between and person of
Start there.
reason, and let's try to resolve this. I'd love to buy it, but if I could help you guys get rid of this at least one situation, it's one less thing you have to speak to him about, right?
Start
It's you got to make yourself look like the facilitator, the person who could actually resolve that problem for them. But that's where I would
Okay.
start. Become the person of service.
Okay. So whenever let's say the beneficiaries, I get a hold of them and they agree, would the next step just be to reach out to a title company and get a purchase sale agreement and kind of have everyone sign from there and kind of go from there?
Exactly. Pretty much, you could do that.
Good.
There's if you're interested, I'll even give you a title company you can use. That's right there in Fort Myers. They're called Bay Breeze Title Services. Contact person's name is Michelle Cantrell. I use her all the time.
Okay.
Look at that, Stan.
All right.
We hope we helped you, brother. Good talking to you.
I appreciate you.
All right, peace.
Take
Get out
care,
the closet.
Have a good one. Bye. Thanks.
Look, y'all, put your calls in 757-204. Oh, I put the line on here. 204. Dan, tell them what the phone number is while I do this.
757-204-1332. Call in with your number. Call in with your questions. We're here to serve you. We do this every single Sunday night at 7:30. Beautiful weather here today in New York City. I'm sitting in my yard, guys, and I'm just enjoying literally my entire yard here.
Looks good, man.
So,
Looks good.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad you're enjoying something, Dan. You make me feel bad for trying. I don't feel like I have enough time to do what I want to do in life. You make me feel bad for doing things.
You know what, man? Yeah, I guess I do. I'm like, what do you mean you ain't working? Like, what's wrong with you,
who
Chris?
I'm married to, dog?
Yeah,
I'm
you
married
keep
to a
saying,
black woman.
and it don't matter, bro. Black, white, Spanish. You put down your foot, kids.
I'm married to a black woman.
Yeah.
So, y'all, what am I? Anyway, I'm gonna say that. So, Dan, we're gonna be in New York. We're July 19th. Is that our date? Are we solid yet?
Yeah, July 19th, Chris and I are going to be hosting our free networking meeting for everyone that graduated as an Ultimate Landlord Warrior.
Warriors in the building.
That's right. So, we just finished our first mastermind class that Chris and I launched. Our next one is going to be in September. Same exact curriculum. The book alone, the workbook, my workbook alone is 130 pages. Chris's workbook is another 80 pages. The class went on an extra week, actually. It was supposed to be 4 weeks, went on for 5. But we call our graduates the Ultimate Landlord Warriors because they are now trained to go out there and run that property, right? There's a lot of people out here teaching you how to finance a deal, how to wholesale the deal, how to fix and flip the deal, how the BRRRR system. But I don't really see anybody out here teaching you how to keep the deal, how to maximize its potential profits, and how to manage those tenants and manage those contractors, and about the importance of seasonal maintenance, and what should you be looking for? How do you do preventive maintenance? What is preventive maintenance? What is preventive maintenance? How does it keep your tenants happy? How does it keep your retention high, your tenant retention high? The reality is, when we lose a tenant, it costs us a lot of money. We're losing rent. We got to go in there, fix and clean. In many states, depending where you're at, you got to pay the real estate fee, right? So, the truth in the matter is you don't want to lose tenants. So neither do you want to have a combative tenant. So, do you know how to actually vet a tenant application? Do you know how to actually do a tenant interview? Do you understand the structure of how Section 8 works? Do you understand, how to manage problems when they come up in place, right? So that's what
police violation.
They are our customers, right? So if you want to become an Ultimate Landlord Warrior, Chris, the link is below, right? Yeah, so the link is below. Sign up. It's not a first come, first serve. You'll be getting a phone call from Kris Haskins and myself, because we want to make sure that you are the right fit and that you are in a position to actually put this to work. This is like a college course.
This is
right.
Shit.
Yeah. So if you want to become an Ultimate Landlord Warrior, go to the link below, put your name and phone number on there. You will be getting a phone call directly from us. The next class will be the end of September, and it's limited seats. We cut it off at 48. The last class, we're probably going to cut this one at 40. Right. So if you want to be one of those Ultimate Landlord Warriors, learning the business from somebody who's been in it since 1989, learning the business from Kris Haskins that's been in it since 2004, learning the business from people that have a road behind us, learning the business from, people that actually have achieved success in this, right?
Something.
Right. Put your name on that waiting list.
Dan, I would go further to say, if you want to master, I don't want to say we're necessarily, we're still students of the game. If you want to train your tenant instead of having your tenant, I'm telling you, I was one of the guys like, there's got to be a better way to be a landlord. I'll tell you, Dan, I really almost lost my mind in 2010, dog. I remember
when I first started. I'm like, I'll never forget her name. I won't say her name here, but I went up there and I was like, yo, I own this building, man. Smack me up. Get out of here.
They'll show you, won't they?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
They showed me who the boss was. This is New York City. So if you could be a landlord in New York City and still survive with what we're gonna be teaching you, it's like the song. You can make it here. You can make it in New York. You can make it anywhere. Well, that's the truth there. That's what we're teaching you, how to make it anywhere.
They'll show you, dog. If you do
Yo,
not
she smacked
do
me
it
up.
right, if you don't do it right, they'll show. I didn't get arrested. I got arrested. My tenant.
She was like, "Get out of here with that tough guy attitude bullshit. That ain't
This is
working.
my house. Yeah, this is
Get out
my
of
house.
here." Yeah,
This is my
I can laugh about it now. I wasn't laughing back then.
that mortgage was killing me.
Oh
Y'all, call in with
man.
your questions 757-204-1332. Dan, as I look here, markets are shifting. Tell me about what's going up in the north. I got 4 houses on the market. I got full price offers on 2. I mean, things are still moving. Virginia Beach
It
area.
kind of all depends. It's where you're at. You know, Long Island right now, I can't get over it. Still hot. It's hot as sin.
Wow.
New Jersey, starting to cool down, but in relation to the rest of the country, extremely hot.
Let's stay there for a minute. Hold on. Let's talk about that because everybody's. It's weird when I go through town, drop my kid off, or go to church. I always get people come on and talk to me, not on some celebrity stuff, just people talking, right? And I hear people. I'm starting to hear them say, "Man, real estate, man. You know, me and my wife, we think we're gonna hold off for a while, man, with the things because it seems like the market's cool." I hear this. Do you hear the same?
I do, but I usually hear that from the people that are not in the business.
That's my point. Well, these are new, just people that want to get in the game, and they're like, "I'm nervous, man. I'm seeing, interest rates
Man,
high."
you know it's
And
funny, bro.
whatever.
I was at a town hall meeting strictly for landlords. There are 300 landlords in there representing over 7,000 properties in the city of New York. The mayor of New York, Mayor Adams, actually was brave enough to come out, and I listen, whether you like the man or you don't, I give him the respect because he was actually brave enough to come out at like 8 o'clock at night and have this on a Friday night. And he showed up with like 5 of his deputy commissioners, right, from the different departments. And I didn't get home, but man, and then afterwards, around 10 o'clock when it was done, the person who was heading it, HL, came off the stage and says, "Listen, I'm having some people back at the office. I'd really love for you to come back." And it was about another 40 people back at the office. And the conversation was very positive. Like, yeah, in the sense of we're gonna have a lot of opportunities. So when most people are saying, "Well, I don't know, the market might be cooling off," people like us, we're the opposite. We're saying, "Man, we can't wait for this," right? When everyone's fearful, we're jumping in. Those are the opportunities.
Let's start here.
Let's
take the call, Dan, and then we'll get back to the conversation. Caller, you on the line with Chris and Dan? State your name and where you're calling from, please.
Hey, this is Keith from North Carolina.
How are you, Keith, from North Carolina?
I'm doing
Keith from
good.
North Carolina. Good to hear from you, my brother. How can we serve you today?
Oh, man. Well, I was just calling with a quick question, man. I've been following both of you guys for quite some time, and I'm one of these guys that I haven't caught any traction. Okay? So what I wanted to ask, I heard you guys talking about the ultimate Lord Warriors. Okay? Now, I know Chris and Dan, I know you guys, I've been following you guys have an emphasis on lease purchase, on the subject to strategy. So I always kind of hear you say, go ahead.
That's a Chris question. He's the man with that.
Okay, yeah, Chris. I always hear you say, the lease option, the subject to strategy. So is that still part of, a major part of your business, or are you focusing more on Section 8? But I know you do both because I've been listening to you for quite some time. But what's going on? Just tell me.
Okay.
Give me some more insight on what's happening.
Got it. Okay. Keith, first of all, I want to say thank you for having the empathy and the humility to speak up about this, where I promise you, half the people watching this fucking thing are thinking the exact same thing, right? So excuse me for that. I had to emphasize. Dan, are you in agreement with that?
Absolutely.
Keith, creative real estate, my brother. You know I love you. You already know both of us. You know what my heart is, man. With you, the masses. Buying real estate subject to, let's just say, outside of New York City. It can be done, but it's just probably going to be a problem. In North Carolina, subject to, oh my God, is still a large piece of my portfolio. I hold several rental properties subject to. I built my rental portfolio using those strategies. I bought the house that my family lived in subject to. So you know this stuff works. If you seen it, you seen my old house where I lived at. I showed everybody my house. Yes. As my teacher used to say in college, 1,000 times yes. Subject to, let me show you this. That's crazy. As I was preparing for this, I was going over the foreclosures so I could just show you. These are the foreclosures that just came out of my area. Look, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at all these houses. This is just last week. Look at this. This is just in my area. So now North Carolina is a little different regarding your stupid foreclosure laws. I know it's a little different. However, if you can approach and get that seller before it goes to the auction, dude, you can't lose. That's in all 50 states, in my opinion. I want to know from Dan. If you deal with the seller before the auction, you can craft all type of creative stuff. Dan?
I agree. My experience with that is much different than Chris's experience. But Chris is a much smoother guy than I am too, so maybe that's why he has so much more success on that side. Usually, in my experience, when I speak to these sellers when they're going right before the auction, especially in the Northeast, because in the Northeast we're very litigant states, so it takes before it actually gets that far. They've had many years to try to figure it out and correct the problem. So these are people who just keep putting their heads in the sand or extremely stubborn. They're so stubborn that,
I can see you mad at them.
I'm like, you know what? You're so stupid. You deserve to lose your house. That's what I'm thinking to myself when I'm leaving sometimes. Here you got the problem right in front of you, the gift horse, and you too stupid and stubborn to recognize it or put your ego to the side.
The real dad is here.
But I find that people in the South, especially, they're more open-minded in that sense. That Chris is the guy, and when I go in there, again, we're going in as a person of service. We're not just there. Yes, we're going to make a profit, but we're going to help fix their problem.
Keith, did we help you at all, dog?
Yes. One more quick question. I ain't gonna hold you up.
Quickly.
If you're in my shoes, been following you guys for years, and I'm still, I take the blame. I take responsibility for sometimes not, because sometimes it doesn't work fast enough. I might just let up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I can't do that. I got to keep pushing until I clam. So right now, with stuff getting ready to go on, I feel like it could be some closures coming up. 3-4
could
closures.
Be some what? I just showed you the list.
Market yourself. Yeah, no, I'm driving an 18-wheeler. I can't really look.
Oh, okay.
How would you market yourself right now? Would you banner signs or prop stream? What mailers? What would you do to kind of start gaining some traction so that I could possibly, get my phone ringing?
All right, Keith.
Lock down.
Chris, can I just? I know you're going to give us some great ideas, but I just want to make some suggestions.
Yeah. All right, Keith. Thanks for your last quick. Keith, we're going to let you go real quick, but we're going to give you.
But we're going to answer.
We'll answer on the line, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, brother. Bye.
The first thing you need to remember, Keith, is, and I just put up this post last week. In 6 months, you have to decide what you're going to have in 6 months. Are you going to have a list of excuses, or are you going to have a list of accomplishments?
Or a list of houses. Shoot, I like
right. And even if you don't have a house, what did you do to prepare to start getting those houses, right? So it seems like, Keith, as many times as you watch us, it doesn't really matter if you're not taking action. So you have to start taking action. Develop a plan. You have a goal. So you have a goal, but you don't have a plan. And the goal is just a dream without that plan. And what I mean by plan, it's just a business plan, and it's a very simplistic. You could download a business plan uh, right off of Google. You could go to Chat GDP and say, "Hey, develop me a plan for me to achieve my goal in 6 months, and this is what I want to achieve, and this is how much I want to invest." Right? Believe it or not, it'll give you a really good outline. You're going to have to tweak it according to your personality, meaning what is your risk tolerance, how much time you're willing to dedicate to achieving your goals. But the truth of the matter is, having a goal is without a plan is just having a dream. It's not going to get you're not going to get anywhere. I host a free mentorship class every Wednesday. If you guys are interested in that, send me a DM or
I
just
thought
go
you
to my
wasn't every
my
Wednesday no
website.
more.
Well, for the summer, we're doing once a month, right? Chris channel. If you just watch all of Chris's videos, that's all you need. That's all you need.
You gotta take action on them. But damn,
Yeah.
let's finish with Keith. Keith, you know we love you. Two things real quick, and we gotta move. Even if I give you leads, I don't know your negotiating ability, right? So I hesitate to say, hey, hire my Geek Squad, get your leads. So we got to start there. Number two, we got to get you trained on how to negotiate with homeowners, dog. I can't give you hot leads. Say if I give you a lead with $100,000 worth of equity, do you know how to close it, right? So let's start there. Shoot us a direct message, man. We'll get you on the wait list for the Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide. Or Dan and I we'll do consultations either way, but we would love to help you if we can. Dan, he got to spend some money, don't he?
Yeah, and the thing is, Keith, and everyone else here. How many people we have on here right now? I
We
don't
got
see that.
30 on Instagram. I mean, 30.
Okay. So the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of people out there saying you don't need money to invest in real estate.
No.
That's all a lie. Because for them to teach you how to do that, you need money. For you to get the leads that they're gonna to get leads the way they're gonna teach you, you need money.
Yeah, you got some money.
So you need money.
I had a question here from Antoine. Is that Antoine? I'm 22-year-old finance student. Save 30K. Holy cow. I would like to start real estate investing, eventually making it my main source of income. How do you recommend I get started? Wow. You gotta get trained.
First thing is stop telling people how much you got.
You always say that, Dan. Why I can't tell people I got $1 million in the bank?
Because everyone and their mother is going to be asking you for money. Friends, family. All of a sudden, everyone's got a bad problem that they can't get out of unless you lend them the money. Dan, you ain't ever going to get it back.
That's your experience, man. I had to have it. That's why I love talking to Dan. Complete different experience in life. Go ahead.
So don't tell anybody what you have, number one. Number two, you don't have to spend a ridiculous amount of money learning this business. Chris gives it away for free. I give it away for free. Educate yourself first. And through the education, you're going to then figure out what side of the business you want to be in. Our business, real estate investing, is like being a doctor, right? You go to med school, and then after med school, you have, after you do your residency, you have to now figure out what you want to specialize in, right? So, in real estate, in med school, you could be a podiatrist, you could be a heart specialist, you could be a pediatrician. Well, with us, it's the same exact thing, right? The way Chris does his business and the niche that he specializes in is not what I do, and neither what I do is what Chris does, right? So, let's get you to understand the business. Let's then get you to figure out what side of the business you want to come in on based on what you're comfortable with, your personality, your risk tolerance, right? And then you start strictly concentrating on that. Step-by-step process.
Antoine, I hope that helps you, brother. Health and wellness. I need help finding deals, financing deals, closing deals, repeating that process. That's a good one. Kevin Durant is the least of my worries. I hear you on that, health and wellness. That is such a good one. Jamal, what's going on? Y'all let me know your name and your state or your city. Where you chiming in from? Name and where you chiming in from.
Guys, call in with your questions. That's what we're here for. We're here to serve you tonight, right? 757, put up that again, 757-204-8255. 1332.
We got Ernesto in the building. What up, Ernesto? How you doing, my brother? That's the ultimate landlord right there.
Yeah, ultimate landlord warrior in the house.
We got Deborah in the building, another ultimate landlord
Yeah,
warrior.
Deborah and I were hanging out yesterday at a yacht networking meetup for entrepreneurs yesterday.
How was that?
It was pretty cool. We went around the FDR, around Hudson River, around the city of New York.
I mean, that was nice.
Yeah.
We got to finish what happened between you and the mayor when you went in that back room and you had to kiss the ring, Dan.
Oh, the mayor wasn't there.
Hold on, caller. You're on the line with Chris and Dan. State your name and where you're calling from, please.
What up, guys? It's Jamon, man, out of Georgia, man. What's shaking, y'all?
Hey, what's going on out of Georgia?
Not much, man. It's hotter. It's hotter than fish grease 5 times
I bet
over.
it is. Down south.
Other than that, Other than that, man,
crazy,
I'm hanging in there, man.
What you got?
Always from my brothers from different mothers, some love.
I appreciate it.
Well, just a couple. Just a couple things, man. Like I was looking at some reports, and they were talking about this last spring selling season might have been complete toilet water because it was bad in hot markets. And
the last what? Hold on, say that again.
Nah, they said this past spring selling season basically was in toilet water. Basically, I'm trying to keep them cut. It was dismal compared to last year. Like in certain markets, it was worse this year than it was last year, and they were saying that 50 across the nation, 56,000 buyers, deals fell out of closing. Like 56,000 buyers just walked away.
Wow.
And I mean, they probably didn't have the financing. They probably didn't have the financing last minute. Somebody put a deal together and just something went haywire. But yeah, about 56,000 people, they say, walked away from deals nationwide.
Wow.
Walked from closings nationwide.
That's crazy.
I'm like, y'all, yeah, man. And I'm like, y'all, all people talk about this Kevin Durant stuff all day. I'm like, man, I give two giraffe asses about Kevin Durant. Because Friday,
I'm so happy.
Because Friday morning, I was watching Bloomberg. It's unfortunate what happened. And the gentleman, this is the only guy I heard say this. And he said this early Friday morning. He said the U.S. is probably going to wait until the weekend to go bomb something. That way the stock markets are closed. And he was the only one that said it. And people kind of just looked at him when he said it. And it's like, nah, I know what he's getting at. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. It's about to be crazy from tomorrow. And he was
saying,
yeah, they wait till the weekend. The markets are closed. Then go bomb some stuff. And he was the only one Friday that said that.
He might have known
nobody else
something.
said it. And I was,
he might have known something.
And I was like, yeah. I'm looking at cobalt prices. Man, I'm looking at some silver. Man, I'm looking at all kinds of stuff. Oil, like y'all, I'm looking at oil. Hey, I'm starting to look at some of them solar panels now. Like, hey, hey,
that's good to hear.
It's my piece. Yeah. Yeah,
I want to congratulate you, man. Because that's how real business people think, right? I sold on Thursday around 3:30. I just sell all of my stocks. I sold a decent percentage of my ETFs on Thursday afternoon, suspecting that if there's going to be a fight, it would probably happen over the weekend because history tells us that's when they like to do it because then it gives people 2 days of breathing room before the market opens up. Guess what?
Wow.
I'm buying back in on Monday morning. Tomorrow morning, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. Now, some people are going to be talking about, hey, look what's happening. Business people look at it like these are opportunities to buy.
Definitely.
Thanks for bringing
it up. But I want to stress something out. You said too. You said about 58,000 deals falling apart at the closing tables and things like that. I'm not seeing that much happen in New Jersey, New York, but in the state of Florida, it is happening a lot. Like deals are closing at the closing table where the bankers at the last minute saying, yeah, we're not funding this. So, there is a lot of validity in what you just said.
Depends on where you're at, huh?
Yeah.
I've only seen one this year.
I'm seeing, and this is not a political statement, but this is what happened in 2008 too. The states that start going down first in general in pricing in real estate are usually red states. Just like, where blue states, it's extremely difficult to get rid of a non-paying tenant. Here in New York City, it could take us 2 years, 2.5 years. Whereas in red states, it'd only take us 3 months. So, usually it starts with the red states, and the red states are usually the first ones to start coming back before the blue states when it starts to change.
Jamal, thanks for bringing that stuff up, man. You listening, dog. You got your ear to the streets.
Oh yeah, man. I be listening, man. Yeah, man. Like, there's money be made out here, man. Like people get scared. Like, yeah, y'all stay on the sideline. I'm gonna go out here with my hard hat on, ready to crash into something, make some money.
All right, brother.
All right, y'all take care.
We talk to you soon.
All right.
Yes, sir. That's good points he had. Dan, you know what? Before we get back to your meeting, it's funny how people say real estate's down, real estate's this, real estate's that. But when you think about it, it went up so high during COVID.
It was ridiculous.
Who cares if it's down from that? Why do people? I'm like, you listening to the wrong people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be down. It ain't got nowhere else to go.
Look, the reality is this is real estate. Just like the stock market goes down, then it goes up. This is what it keeps doing. Just like the market, right? But look at what happens. Like, trust me, 20 years from now, it ain't going to be here. It's going to be up here, right? Were there a lot of dips in between? Yes. But it's funny, like Chris, this was about a year ago. I got an offer on my building on Park Slope for $6.5 million.
Wow.
No, actually, I'm lying. This was back in 2000, before 2019, before the laws changed, and before the interest rates started moving up. And he says, "Well, if the rates start to move up, your property's going to be worth less." And I said, "Well, you obviously didn't do your homework. I own the building since 1990. You know how many rate increases I've seen since 1990? You think I give a shit? Because this is the long-term game, people. The money's really made in the long term."
Mm-hmm.
So I have no intentions of selling because it's cash flowing a mint of money every month. What do I give a shit if the price of the building goes down? I'm not selling.
It don't even matter to you if it's worth $5. I
right.
Don't care.
As long as I still getting that cash flow. I mean, it's great that it keeps going up. It's going to be a great retirement.
Caller, you're on the line with Chris and Dan. I gotta get a nickname for Dan. I gotta get a nickname for you. State your name and where you're calling from.
What's going on? Yes, sir. Jabari McLennan, calling Bryan College Station.
Jabari, where you at?
Yep, Jabari like the Jabari tribe. So Jabari, calling out of Bryan College Station. So Aggie Land, about 45 minutes from Houston, Texas.
Oh, you're in Texas. Okay.
Okay.
Jabari in Texas. Jabari, how can we serve you, brother?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for calling in.
Hey, well, absolutely, man. I've been following you for a while, and I just am always curious. So I was surprised to see how you building your content. I know you just recently went to a mastermind class, and so I am an investor agent.
Okay.
So yes, I'm one of those in real estate agents. So I'm really painting a new lane. So I'm really curious just to get both of y'all perspectives. If you were kind of in the shoes like me, somebody, I own property, like we own up to 20 properties. We kind of restructuring because I transitioned from Arkansas to Texas.
Okay.
So, I know the value of it, and I also coach a lot of it too. So wow. I'm just curious from what you guys have done, and how would you structure your business to continue to grow online, coach, but also continue to sell? You got any insights on that?
Now, the question is, I want to make sure we understand, it's online coaching?
No. Well, no. I mean, I have an online presence, but I'm asking you if you was a real estate agent, kind of in my shoes, and you use that as part of your, I guess,
income stream
business structure.
Being an agent is an income
one
stream.
of your income streams.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. Use that as income stream. How would you leverage like your platform you have right now? And also continue to build that side of your income stream.
Got it. Go ahead, Dan. Content. I mean, he's talking about being a realtor, leveraging being a realtor.
Right.
And
so I'd rather speak about the realtor side. But when it comes to content, I got to be honest with you. The person that you really want to talk to is the man on the other side, next to me on the screen, Kris Haskins. It had not been for Kris, I don't know if I would be here where I'm at. I remember when I first met Kris, he wanted to do a live, and I asked him what that was. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even know what that was. And then, how did I build up my content? Essentially, I just much of it through Kris's advice. He just said, "Be yourself," right? Just be yourself.
Grumpy a-hole.
Yeah. So exactly. So now, as far as an agent, so I would leave that side for Kris to answer. But as far as the agent side, my brother and I, we own the Borrero Group out of New Jersey.
Monster.
Yeah,
I'm not going to diminish that. That is a monster train.
Yeah, we come in like 7th in the state, between 5 and 3, between 7 and 3 every year. 1 year I think we were number 2. With the Remax group, within Remax we're in the top 5 every year. So what I find is what attributes to our success is that all of our entire team, they are real estate investors before they were realtors. So when we negotiate and when we train them to negotiate on behalf of our clients, right, we're negotiating from an investor's point of view, not an end user's point of view, right?
It's unique. That's like a specialty of a specialty.
Exactly. Furthermore, if you are a realtor that wants to work with investors, then you need to bring investors information that they didn't know.
Are you doing investors or are you doing homeowners, Jabari?
Yeah, I'm doing. Yes, I'm doing investor, and like on my page, like I had built out my pages, living and investing. A lot of people have been living.
Is it YouTube or is it Instagram?
It's YouTube. Yeah, this YouTube where I guess I commented in your comments, but you can go to my comments in my page. But
go ahead.
But yes, to answer your question, yes, I do work with investors, and I think
then you want to be what you want to be. There's 2 types of realtors we explain to people. There's either a transactional realtor who just gives a shit about that commission for that one deal, and they're trying to maximize whatever they can pull out of both sides, or the person that just wants to do a great job to deliver a great experience at the right price, so that when that investor is taking that fix and flip and going to resell it, they're going to give it to you. When that investor wants to get that rental application, they're going to give it to you, right? When that investor is talking to other investors, they're going to talk about you, right? So you have to decide, do you want to be a transactional realtor or a relationship realtor? In my opinion, the relationship realtors are the most successful realtors.
Look at him, Dan. Looking good, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Look at that College Station. I don't know anything about College Station, but I'm sure. Look, wow, you're doing it. Let's go ahead and give him a quick audit on the channel, dog. I'm gonna do it. This is what This is what I wish we could do more of. This is what Dan. I'm gonna go.
Hey, I take all insight.
I don't know why my community refuses to do. Dan, this is why I love that. Dan, I'll be talking to Dan, right? People like, Kris, that's why I love talking to you. And then, when I talk to Dan, I'm like, that's why I like talking to Dan. It's almost like we are receptive. We are like fertile ground. We don't know it all. I promise you. We are actually, I can't speak for Dan. I'm like,
no, you can speak for me. How many times I'll call you and ask you questions?
I'm like, Dan, you spell it C-A-T. It's cat. T-A-T.
Yeah.
So both of us are not the smartest guys. We are so dumb that we are just
dumb as shit
all the time. Just like, well, they told me it worked. Let's go. We just keep going until it ends up working. And And I hear Dan saying, Chris, how do you do this? I'm like, well, okay, let's try it. And he shuts up. Other day, I was like, Dan, can you just be quiet and do this one thing? I'm really working on Excel. I'm like, I already know what you're thinking. Just hit the button. So
you're like, it's on the bottom left-hand side.
But that goes to show, Dan, it's the environment that Dan and I are together. We're on the phone together, and we don't necessarily want to talk to each other all the time, but we are creating stuff, dog.
Yeah.
So you
answer his question. He wants to know how to increase his presence on social media. That's a you question, Chris.
Now your content needs to tell me something. Go ahead. Y'all look at this young man.
Say, even what I admire is, Chris, how you have built out a lot of your content. You know, like we just did I did one of our first owner finance deals in Texas. And so a lot of the things that I'm always working to figure out is, how do I attract higher client investors or coaching clients, right? Like, I think what I've seen you do a good job of is like structuring everything that you've learned as a way to educate your people. And so I believe you've done a good job. And so, I believe you've invested a lot to position yourself where you're at. So I just value whatever insight you would say if you were in my shoes.
You know what? Can you tell my wife, Princess? Somebody thinks I'm okay. Never mind. Jabari, we're gonna let you go so I can answer your question. We gotta keep moving. I'm gonna answer your question after I let you go, okay?
That's fine, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Damn. I keep telling my wife I'm somebody. Jabari, what I'm so happy, Dan. I know, Dan, you get this. I want y'all to know we are older. I consider us old geezers. Look at this guy. He's probably what, 30 something?
Yep.
We have a bigger social media presence than most young people. And I don't know why. That makes no sense to me because we don't even like social media.
No,
I don't even like it. If I didn't,
my kids fought with me for 5 years to get on social media.
I'm like, I don't have to do this. Do you know I choose to do this. I don't need to make another video. I mean, I'm like, I don't need to do it. So, all right. You got thumbnails, good. I would love your thumbnails to tell me something though. Renovate, sell, I don't know, $300,000. But you're on the right track, national builder. I would do something national builder, local builder. Let's work on this thumbnail, Jabari. Let's blur out the background a little bit. You probably need to do a consultation with me so we can talk about thumbnails. So you how to blur it out, make those numbers pop. Let me show you what I'm talking about real quick. Anyway, you need to get a consultation. This is good, man. I would just say more of doing this. Walk through houses, Jabari. You got that. Main house, second house. Walk to A&M. I just don't know what it means. I'm not. Real estate appreciation, cash flow Friday. We got to just work on your thumbnails a little bit, my brother. Not to say that they're bad. I just need them to tell me a story. You can't do thumbnails like Myron Golden or like Patrick Bet David, right? You can do a thumbnail and say like rich versus poor. Like, it doesn't matter that Jabari or Kris Haskins or Dan Borrero said it. What matters is Elon Musk said it, but he could say that. We don't have enough weight. So your videos need answer specific. If you see Dan Borrero, every time he goes live, he goes, look, we're doing this, boom, boom, boom. He's just showing exactly something he's doing in his business for the day. So I would give you that. Man, we're doing good, Dan. We at the end of the show.
Did I lose you, Chris?
I'm here. Keon.
Okay.
Can we break down return on investment if you only lend money for the repairs? Like if you have $50K, how much should you get back for lending the money? I'm glad you asked that question. Dan Borrero. Y'all gonna see, mark my word, Dan Borrero is gonna fly around these United States loaning money to people. Watch, mark my word. I've been telling you that since I met you.
Yes, you have.
You're gonna find this and you're gonna find loaning money so rewarding. It is so rewarding to see other people bring a project together that you have nothing to do with. You are gonna love it. Go, Dan.
I'm not sure from what perspective is the question.
Well, it looks like they're asking. We'll come back to that question, Keon. We got a caller on the line. Caller on the line with Dan and Chris. Grumpy Dan. State your name and where you're calling from. Hold on, I lost you. What's your name again? Where you from?
Virginia Beach.
What's your name, brother?
So the question I have for you, and Dan,
give me your name. Give me your name, brother. What's your name?
Oh, Jared.
Jared. I remember you.
Yep, Jared. Called a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember. You sent me a deal. I remember that deal. Is that deal dead?
No. He I was trying to get him to do a subject to for like at least a couple years, but he was only willing to do it for a couple months. It wasn't really going to work. It wasn't enough equity.
Sounds dead to me. Sounds dead to me.
Yeah.
What you got?
Yeah, I remember
Jared?
that phone call.
Yeah. I mean, you still work as a rental potentially. I know I kind of passed up on it, but I'm still like, it was like I was at like $250 and it rents for like $2,300. Would that be like a decent rental?
What's the mortgage rate?
Like
what's the mortgage payment?
Cash. So like buy it cash or
what's the mortgage payment?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like because I couldn't use his financing. So I'm saying if I like went out to get financing from like a private money lender or something like that.
For how much?
$2,500 and it rents for $2,300. I mean $250 would be the price and it rents for $2,300.
Well, that's a deal that's dead already, right? You call. Let's talk about. It's dead. Let's talk about the question you called in for, because this it's already 8:30, Chris.
Yeah, let's go. We gotta go. Jared, that deal's dead. Next.
Yeah, my main question was, so I've been going on these in-person appointments, and my big thing is how do you set up your offer? A lot of people recommend going really low to start, and then that kind of gives you wiggle room to work up and make them feel like they've. But when I've tried that, it's kind of just made the owner shut down and just kind of like, basically be done with me when I give an offer like that. So I haven't really had success with like basically giving a low ball offer and trying to work up from there, because this is the conversation for me.
Dan is the master negotiator. Let's go with Dan. Start, Dan.
First and foremost, before I walk into before I walk in that room and sit at that table, I do my business to know everything about that person.
Oh my God, stay here. That was exactly where I was going, Dan. I'm not making shit until I know how I think you're gonna receive it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. You have to know as much as you can about that person, right?
You can't go in there with a one size fits all approach, dog. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
No. The other thing is you have to approach them from a position of service, right? The reality is that 99% of the properties that we get are people that are in dire need of something, whether it's an estate and they're the trustees and they don't want to have anything to do with this. It's a pain in the ass. They already have money. Now what you're servicing is convenience, right? Now if it's a thing where they're losing their house, it's at the end, and now it's a matter of, do they leave with some money in their pocket, or do they leave, when the marshal or the sheriff comes in and kicks them to the curb, right? So you have to find out everything as much about them and as much as about their personalities. And you can get those personality traits when you speak on the phone prior to you going to meet them in person. So that would be the first thing. Secondly, when I do give a low ball offer, I first take the time out and educate them why the offer is low. Why am I going to present you a low offer? Boom, 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 boom. And by the way, yeah, that wholesaler offered you more money, but look at the contract. It's subject to them selling it, right? I'm buying it as is. There's no subject to anything. You're out. We could close on it as soon as title's ready. Thirdly, I always follow up with, but if you want to list it, we got the Borrero group that'll list it for you and look at our track record. So at least I'm not walking out of there with nothing. At least I'm getting a possible listing out of it, right? With a commission. And then I always leave the door open. If that doesn't work, please feel free to call me if you have any questions, or if you should change your mind, right? And I'll follow up with a call a couple of days later, sometimes a week later, sometimes 2 weeks later, depending on the personality that I was dealing with.
Good point, man. Very rarely I find, Dan, you go to home appointment and walk out with a contract. I mean, I can't remember the last time that happened.
No, sometimes you have to let the market educate them.
Jarrett?
Yep, I'm here.
On you, brother. You got 30 seconds.
Okay, so you're saying educate them. So is that like sort of like going through like general numbers?
Yeah.
Talk about like how much you think the rehab cost will be, and talking about you have to pay closing costs and realtor fees and that things. You just kind of.
And on top of that, I'm gonna hit them up with, listen, right now the reality is, a lot of deals are closing, are falling apart at the table. A lot of banks ain't financing properties in these conditions. You're going to get a buyer who's going to want more concessions and ask you to pay money towards additional repairs at the closing table out of proceeds. So you have to sell them on the idea. Yes, you're getting less money, but you're getting convenience. So
okay,
it's the only reason we're doing it.
So are you starting with the price that you wanted at? Like you're not doing any trying to do any
Nah, I usually start again. It all depends on the personality. It all depends on that person's situation. Like I came across a deal about 2 years ago. It was in a state. The son was an attorney, a corporate attorney. Parents passed away. They were in Jupiter, Florida. It was in an inlet, coastal inlet. House looked like it was from the 1970s. The parents maintained it, but they never upgraded anything. They even left. They had a 1978 Caprice station wagon in the garage with like 80,000 miles. Right. I was able to pick up the house at literally about a third of its true value, even in the condition it was in, because he didn't care about the money. The guy was wealthy. This was a pain in the ass to him. He just wanted a clean deal out with no problems. He didn't even want to clean out the house.
Damn.
So we made it happen, right? So it all depends on the situation. Their personality and their desperateness or their situation will dictate my price as well.
Jarrett, I hope that helps you, brother.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Thanks, Chris and Dan.
Talk to you. Dan, I can sense in his voice he wants to do a real estate deal. But when I talk to you, I sense that you don't give two craps about doing a real estate deal.
No. I mean, I do. Well, I mean, we do and we don't. You and I both, right? Like what we're constantly talking about, like deals we walked away from. I look at it like I made money, because if I had done the deal, it would have been a bad deal.
Jared, I want you to memorize this statement. We win whether we buy the house or not. If I buy it, I may make a few dollars. If I don't buy it, I got more time to look for other deals. Which way am I going to win? When I hear you talk, Jared, my gut gives me a sense. I'm not saying that it is for sure, but I'd like to know Dan too. I get a sense that you want to do these deals. Like when you hear Dan and me talk about deals, man, I'm not saying that we're better, but Dan's voice pierces through these sellers, and it's weird. Like when I hear myself talk, I can't even believe I'm even saying these words, because I remember being trained. I'm like, do you hear how much I do not care? And I'll tell people, look, I got enough houses. I don't need another one. I told people I don't. I might buy your property. I would love to buy it, but I don't need it, right? I tell them that off the jump, because I don't want them to think that I'm in there. I'm never at somebody's property on their terms, ever. Like we do not buy real estate based on your terms. So if that's something we can do and come to an agreement, and I don't know, are these words sounding, Dan, am I piercing with these two?
You're hitting the nail on the head, right? We're not going in there arrogant or egotistic, but we know, right? We're going in with numbers that have to work for us. If it doesn't work for us, I wish you well. If you change your mind, if I could be of any help, here's my number.
And Dan is sincere. And when I'm saying this, I constantly critique. I'm sure, Dan, I critique how I talk to people. And it's something about being certain about something. It attracts people. I don't know what it is. When you're certain about this is what I can do for you. Boom, 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 boom. Nice meeting you. Next to the next one. It's something about that dude that just makes people want to deal with you.
I call it the takeaway effect, right? It's like if you take away the opportunity to deal with you, all of a sudden people want to deal with you. I don't know why that works that way, but it just does.
Dan, it's been an honor to share the stage with you, dog.
Likewise with you, brother.
So look, y'all get registered up for the next Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide training. This is not the mastermind. The mastermind is a closed group of people, and we'll be having another meeting next week for that closed group. That's not even open. Don't even ask about that. Only the Ultimate Landlord Survival Guide is going to be open for the waiting list now. The link's in the video description. July 19th, I will be in New York. So make sure you're on our email list, and we'd love to hang out with you along with the rest of the Ultimate Landlord Warriors. Peace, Dan.
Good night, everyone. Take care.
All right.